Guys, what is up? Jeff here for One Fish, Two Fish. We are back with another edition of One Fish, Two Fish Explains. Today we are going to talk about the most common question we get in this store. The most common question 95% of aquarium store owners get. I'll give you a 10-second pause break. Come up with what I'm about to tell you. I'm not going to give you 10 seconds. The most common question we get. Can you order me a fish? I want a certain fish. Can you bring it in? I'm looking for a pleco. Can you bring it in? I am going to explain to you guys today why, although us and I'm sure all other stores do this all the time, make whatever attempts we can to bring these in, I'm going to explain to you guys why a couple of things to remember when you are asking your local fish store to bring you in a fish. Sometimes the timing, and sometimes the availability. So a couple of things to remember. Obviously, some fish are seasonal. Some fish we catch, obviously most of the stuff that we buy, it comes from the other side of the world. Certainly where I live, all of it does. There's very little that's anywhere close to us. Usually it is on one or two or sometimes three planes before it gets to us. So when we're asked to do that, obviously it is a finding out where it comes from. It is a finding out if it is a seasonal item. It is a finding out if it is something we have access to on our lists. Usually, 95% of fish, when you ask, we do have access to it. That is usually not the issue. The seasonal comes up very rare, usually not the issue. I'm going to show you guys what is the biggest issue when we bring that stuff in. So let me explain something really quick before we go back and we look at that. One thing to remember is for me buying a fish, now this obviously reflects on you when you are buying a fish as well, but you guys don't see it, only we do. One thing to remember when buying a fish is, especially right now during the COVID stuff, shipping rates are crazy. They are as high as they've ever been, especially for us bringing in cargo, and it has gotten to the point where basically they say jump and we say how high. Yes sir, please sir. We do basically whatever they tell us to do. We take orders when they tell us we can, because cargo space is so limited right now. Again, this is mostly for my store for here, because we're very East Canada. We just don't get, we do have an international airport, but we just don't get the action of, say, like Toronto Airport would get, where there is so many more flights. Our access, if we were in Toronto, would be double what it is right now. The ability, the speed where we could get stuff in, all of these things would change for us directly. But what I want to show you guys is when you ask, even for a simple fish, why sometimes it is tricky. You do have to remember the freight that we are paying right now is through the roof, and I'm going to explain why that affects when we're bringing in fish if you're looking for something specific. So let's go back here to the quarantine tank. This is one of the workers doing very, very little, playing with the bird.
It's important work.
Yeah, important work. Let's go back to the quarantine tank. So these just arrived almost a week ago. So let's take the two tanks with, let's take three tanks. Let's go with the strawberry peacock cichlids. Let's go with the ruby red peacock cichlids. And let's go with the auto cats. Now the autos are a different one only because we don't ever really get asked to bring these in. We just do. But we'll use this just as an example. So if you go into your local fish store and you say, I am looking for a strawberry peacock cichlid. I want two of them. For me to bring two fish in, this is the minimum that I can bring in. Now we've already sold probably 15 out of this tank because they came in very nice, and many people are quite willing to quarantine their own fish. So we've already gotten rid of about 15 of these. So this is how many I have to buy to justify shipping the bag. So when somebody comes in and says, we want a strawberry peacock, to me, that means, do I want to bring in 40 strawberry peacocks? Same deal with these guys. Now, these guys were a little bit bigger in size on the bags. They actually didn't come in any different, but I did order a few less just because they were a different size on the order. But same deal. You come in and want a couple of these. When that is me ordering, I can't order a couple. So if I'm going to order, if you're coming in and saying you would like 2 of those, if I order 2 of those fish, it goes from a $14 or a $19 fish to a $75 fish because of the freight that needs to be onto that bag. So that bag costs $50 to ship. Now I'm exaggerating that a little bit, but just for an even number, it costs $50 to ship. So you have to base that $50 over as many fish as you can put in it. So if you can put 50 fish in that bag, the freight actually only costs you $1 per fish. If you put 2 fish in it, that freight now costs you $25 per fish. So always remember, when you are asking the local fish store to bring in 2 of these fish, always remember that what that actually means on our end is bringing in a tank load of these things. So this guy, for example, we get asked all the time, and again, all the time is an exaggeration, we get asked occasionally, will you bring me in a red devil? My answer is always no, but what I will do is if somebody trades one in, which we get quite often, because these are a certain kind of fish, very pretty, but they do have, they can have a temperament, they do need certain requirements. So when we get asked, can you bring me in a red devil, I have to justify that, I have to give 2 options. I can say, yes, I can, but understand, like, this is a bigger one, so the size, the price, and all that changes. So say a small red devil, 2 inches. Let's say that's a $14 fish. I can bring in 1, but that $14 price tag goes to about $35. So obviously we can give you guys, the consumer, the customer, the option for that. And a lot of the time the customer will say, yeah, I don't care. I want that fish. That's my fish. 35 bucks is fine. Bring him in. I want him. We can bring it in. It's no big deal. But just to show you, and again, like, let's take a look at the autos. Now, again, these guys have been here for about 5 to 6 days, and you can see how many there is. For me to bring in autos, I think you guys can see them all through the glass. For me to bring in autos when somebody, and again, autos are different completely, obviously, because we bring them in on every order. They're a very good fish. They're a very good selling fish. We sell them fairly cheap. We got them at $5, and you get deals to buy them in bigger numbers. We had them on sale for $2.50 a couple weeks ago. But for us to bring in X amount of those would completely kill the price. Now, an auto sinkless is a very small. They're able to actually ship a lot of those in a bag. They all come in fine to us, but we can get 100 of those in a bag. So even if that bag costs $100 to ship, the fish is going to be very cheap. If you ever see an actual fish list that we get, freshwater fish are very cheap to buy. It really doesn't cost us a lot to buy these fish. What costs us a lot is the shipping, which right now we're paying for, again, this is kind of ours direct, we're paying 5 to 6 to 7 times. If an order costs $100, we're paying $700 to have it shipped here. So it is very much, you can't just take the price of the fish as the consideration. And then obviously, I mean, you guys know this stuff costs money. It does cost money to quarantine everything. Depending on the supplier, depending on the fish, like these guys don't ever have to go up in price because they always do well. When bringing in cichlids, our cichlid supplier is good. They're as long as nothing happens silly in the bag, if the bag doesn't get punctured, or they accidentally put too many in the bag, as long as they ship the size and kind of what we request, the price of these guys never changes because they always do well. We buy 20, we sell 20. We buy 50, we sell 50. Then some angels. Now the difference with these guys, again, when you see the size of this fish, you can just look at that and know, obviously you can't put 20 of those in a bag. For you to ship that, it then goes down. So where I can buy, and again, these are just numbers, but if I can buy 20 of those for $1 each, and then the shipping cost me $100, I can divide that shipping up into 20. Then I can get what we call a landed price for the fish, which is the fish to the door. And let's say it's a $5 overall fish, and then say it sells for $15. You can look at it like that. Where when you've got something like this, the shipping is going to be the same because he's going to come in the same bag as 20 of those are. But for this guy, because of his size, because angelfish just notoriously do not ship here as well as cichlids, you're going to only be able to put 4 or 5 of them in a bag, and depending, he's a very pretty tricolor angelfish, but depending on how far our order is coming from, you might even be able to go lower than that. You might only want to put 3 or 4 of them in a bag. And then obviously all of the flower horns, you've got to bag individual. Again, they're very good at oxygenating the bags and packing them so that they're good. That would not come in the same bag as, say, something like 20 of those guys would. But there you go, guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on why when you ask if a certain fish on the next order, if we are not able to do it on the next order, or it takes 2 orders or 3 orders, that is the reasoning behind it. It's not that we don't want to, obviously we want to do it, but sometimes it does have to sort of fall into when we're ordering those fish. Again, guys, I hope this information is useful. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Any comments or anything like that, any suggestions, post below, and we'll love to get to them. See you soon, guys. We'll see you in the next one.